Do you feel like you've tried every single method out there to stop spending so much time on your phone, and yet nothing has actually seemed to work? So you're left feeling like your life is completely falling apart because you can't break your addiction to social media, and you can't spend quality time on things that are actually important and you know are important in your life, like spending time with your family and friends or starting that new fitness group. I felt the exact same as you until around 6 months ago I started to use this little $1 pocket notebook. But in this video, I'm going to show you how carrying around this ridiculously cheap pocket notebook has not only completely transformed my relationship with my phone, but it has completely revolutionized 3 key areas of my life. Now, as always, the timestamps are on screen and they're down below in the description, but that's enough hanging about. Let's get right into the video. So to understand the first area of your life that the pocket notebook will completely revolutionize, we need to appreciate the biggest problem that people have with their phones, and it's probably not something you've ever thought about. To understand what this problem is that 99% of people are making, that's destroying their productivity, I want to let you into a little story that a lot of my subscribers say they struggle with. And let's say that imagine you move from doing your grocery shopping in person and then you move all of that online. You watch a couple of videos on YouTube about how it's supposed to increase your productivity, increase your speed, give you back loads of free time and make you feeling more energetic. So you set up a couple of simple systems online of how to actually make your purchases. Maybe you use a fancy color system to separate some of the foods that you buy, let's say each week, each month, and maybe only on special occasions. And you think that the online shopping platform is pretty cool because it recommends you a load of different brands that you might be interested in purchasing. But the biggest problem is that you end up spending way more time trying to optimize every part of this process than if you just went to the shops like normal. And when you spend so much time in this organizing phase, trying to make every part of your digital life way more productive and way more optimized, you end up in this sort of state I like to call analysis paralysis. But the best thing is that this pocket notebook literally stops this from ever happening. Because whilst this is a notebook that I bought fairly recently, I've been using this technique for months across loads and loads of different formats. And it's worked and been so effective in making me more productive. If we look at some of my entries, you'll see that I'm not really trying to optimize for productivity. I'm not organizing things by colors or by folders or even putting them in a fancier notebook, let's say. When you try and organize all of your life in this way, I think that's one of those examples where you think you're being productive, but actually you're just being busy and filling your time. So the beauty of this $1 notebook is just in its simplicity. So if we go back to the grocery store example, anytime I need to make a list or anytime I've got something that I've got going on in my head, I just take out my pen and write it down. There's no folder to worry about, and there's certainly no system that I need to try and fit it into. But on that point, when I first started using this technique, there was a big mistake that I ran into that was stopping me from getting any sort of success with this notebook. Let me show you what this one mistake is and how changing just one simple thing will revolutionize every aspect of your life for you. It can't just be me who feels like this, but do you ever have those occasions where you lay down on your bed after a long day where you think you were being productive, but you can't actually remember anything in particular that you did? You were constantly crossing things off your to-do list and feeling busy, yet you feel like you're getting nowhere. And this shows the biggest mistake that most of us make when we're using to-do lists. And that is the same if you're writing on your phone, or indeed if you're even making a to-do list in your pocket notebook. Because whilst you might start just by writing 1 or 2 things down, since you've got such a busy life, loads and loads of things seem to crop up. So your to-do list might end up being like 25 items long. And this isn't your fault that you can't complete this list, because even hugely motivated people that wake up at 4:30 in the morning would struggle to complete all the items on your list. So the problem I found was that because there was no cap on the amount of items I could put on my list, I'd just end up trying to fill my day to get that sense of being busy. And I sort of lost the forest from the trees, and I didn't know what actually was important in my life. Whilst this problem sort of stays the same on your phone, there is a really simple way to solve it with your pocket notebook. I want to introduce you to a really simple system that loads of my subscribers have found a great deal of success with, at making them feel way more productive and stopping them just filling their time with those sort of activities that make us feel busy. So to do this, all you need to do is just write down the 3 most important things you want to achieve in the day. It doesn't even matter how difficult those activities are or how long they might take. What matters is you just get them done. Because from that point, you get into a sort of motivational loop where you just want to keep getting that dopamine hit from ticking off those things on your crash list. What I recommend to most people is that you want to be focusing on one thing from each of these 3 different pillars. You want to focus on an activity that's going to contribute towards your health, towards your wealth, and towards your mindset. Now, if you're still not sure what you should be focusing on, you're in luck because I've got a complete guidebook and checklist that you can get sent over for free if you hit that link in the description. But before you do that, there's one final way that I use my notebook to give me loads of clarity in my life. And the best news is that this is quite possibly the easiest technique yet, but it has the biggest payoff if you can get it right. So the chances are you're probably wearing a lot of different hats in your life, right? You've got a family to look after, you've got meals to make, you've got to try and find some time to see your friends, and you've also got to try and find a little bit of downtime for that self-care. But the biggest problem is that nobody's ever taught you how to properly manage and juggle all of those different areas of your life. And that's not even the worst thing, because your life is probably getting more hectic and more chaotic and even more overwhelming than it was yesterday. Your life isn't slowing down. If anything, it's probably speeding up. So you need a really simple way of how to stop feeling overwhelmed by all of these thoughts getting cluttered in your brain as you're constantly being busy throughout your day. And you need a way of managing this. The best news is that you can do this in the same pocket notebook. So for me, whenever I'm doing some work in Canary Wharf or I'm going into central London, I'm all over the place. So I know that my brain is also going to be a little scattered from time to time. So if we take a look at my notebook, you'll see that every time I have any sort of idea, that could be in my business, it could be my personal life, anything, I'll just put a little exclamation point and put down whatever idea it might be. I don't really worry about how much I write here or what it is I'm actually writing, just that I'm clearing my thoughts and I have a little bit more brain space just to be present. And then at the end of the week, I can have a flick through all of my ideas. I can notice if there's a pattern of things that I should probably be focusing on, or I can get a little bit more space from that thought and think about whether or not it's worth pursuing. But you might want a little bit more guidance of finding a bit more of a system of managing all of these thoughts and actually deciding what's important in your life. So to find out how you can take back way more control over your thoughts and define what's actually important for you in your own life, you're going to want to watch this video here. So I'll see you all there.